Test 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see if people can hear me. If everything's going well. If my voice is overtaking the audio or anything. If it's too much. Let me see. Let me see if people can hear me. If my voice is overtaking the audio or anything. If it's too much. Okay, so I just looked it back. It sounds pretty fine. Alrighty, hi! I understand this is very last minute, and that being the case, I'm not going to be hounding on a bunch of people if they can't show up. I already know that if people are in the Rap Battle community, there is an event actively going on right now. But, like, I wanted to do this, then I'm going to take the fattest nap because I've been filming that for a long time. So, today I'm going to be breaking down the animation battle that you guys call animation. Break down the entirety of The Rock versus Paperboy versus Edward Scissorhands. It's pretty much rock, paper, scissors. Self-explanatory. What favorite toothpaste flavor? Charcoal. Anyways, what I was trying to say is that, here's the thing. I only filmed the Paperboy animation. And because of that, I only had the Paperboy animation to walk through. So if for anyone who wants me to break down how The Rock is supposed to go, or how Edward Scissorhands is gonna go, this is not gonna be that case. I'm going to be talking about specifically how the Paperboy filming production went. And then after that, once this live stream has ended, you'll be able to see the Paperboy raw assets on my Patreon. So for just $10 a month, you can get the raw Adobe Animate assets of the entire Paperboy verse. And just the 3-person segment. Simple enough? Alrighty, cool. So first things first, I want to start this off by giving a little bit of a story. Let's have a good story and just talk back and look back at everything that's been going on with this. At around February 21st, the RoboRebellion Studios has gotten a call. Guy Wilkes, Guy Wilkes, for those who don't know, is one of the first employees of the RoboRebellion Studios. And Guy Wilkes has gotten a phone call for a commission to film Paperboy. Now, I don't know whatever the hell this pixel dimension thing is, and it's really hard to find an old relic video game from the 1980s. However, John Jacob has been shown to have some experience going into the pixel dimension, so I asked him if he can help us out. So we found a Paperboy, we put him on camera, and then we throw him into a ring that we rented out. And yeah, that's kind of it. So, yeah. So we're gonna go through I'm gonna go through the logistical aspects of how the filming went, and then how the filming of Paperboy went, and yeah. So let's go into specifically the Paperboy verse right over here. Alright, let's watch this at the end, and then let's continue this. First of all, I gotta turn off the looping. Oh jeez, I gotta turn off the. That's a face. That's a face right there. Now let me turn off the looping background so you can hear the animation. Ready, guys? All right, let's break this down. The scissor bitch with the fish and dismantled him. We'll catch Step in court again, this time suing for damages. Paperboy, a rap tape, and I'm a stack. Okay, so we just started off, and what I wanted to do is, if you look at the bottom right, you can see that, if you look at the bottom right, you can see that there's something called can't skip. That is an editing, thing that we did in in post. That's not something that we can genuinely, you know, hold, can't skip, and flash it. That we're not that kind of person, you know. What was your experience with Paperboy? Did you meet him? I saw him from a distance in the ring. I'm not the cameraman. Guy Wilkes is, so I pretty much just direct everything. So I saw him from a distance, if that helps. All right, let's keep going. All right. So you see the can't skip, and it goes on whenever you see this black border at the bottom and on the top, showing that you're in a cutscene, like in one of those video games. Awesome. Let's keep going. Oh, also, I also wanted to mention that the transition the transitions were supposed to be initially just a fade to black, but it looked too smooth, and I wanted it to be as completely faithful to as if I had very limited resources like NES video games are. You could see that when it comes to Paperboy's animation, that Paperboy's edit, like the edit, the final product. You can see that Paperboy, the entire scene uses a simple set of colors. I think the palette is 256. So there's very little range in terms of color, and you can see that if you take screenshots and put it into Photoshop, some colors can be the same and reused into different assets. All right, let's keep going.
Paperboy, a rap tape, and I'm a stack paper. Cap trader, boulder dash player, how a smash drainer, rack slater. All the taxpayers got my pad paid up. Couldn't calculate my cash take if you were Mad Damon.
Okay, you guys saw that? That whole first 4 bars was basically it's just Paperboy getting ready. All we had him do is just get ready as if he's going to work. Pretty much. Kind of it, really. Everything was hand drawn by our creator, by the creator Richie, and they use a program called Sprite to make this animation. So for those who don't know, Richie uses Adobe Animate for the most part for all their animations. However, for this specific one, they use a program called Sprite, which is primarily used for pixelated animations. I think it's free on Steam. I'm not entirely sure. But they use it on this. And then afterwards, they imported everything into Adobe Animate. But originally, it was drawn in Sprite. Alright, let's keep going.
I bet you fear of me now, huh? Obituary. I'm simply here to fill up tomorrow's obituary.
What I wanted to take note while we're going through the video is that I want you to pay attention to the little details. For example, on the top, you can see the UI. There is the Paperboy, and Paperboy's got a score that was added in post. And then you can see verse 2 or 4, which is already foreshadowing that there is going to be a fourth party in the animation film. You guys know what I mean. For the by the way, self-explanatory, but if you're watching this video, watching this live stream, there will be spoilers for the entirety of the animation. If you don't want to be spoiled, maybe now's not the time to watch this video. Just saying. But you can see that verse 2 out of 4 is going because there is going to be a fourth verse, and that's alluding to that fourth verse. And then you can see throughout the entire video, the entire verse, that the timer is going down at the top right, and it goes down on the second of the animation. And then when it hits 0, that's when the animation ends. So yeah, let's keep going. You can see like on the top, it says disc bonus flashing and then scores pop up. You can see that every time he throws something, it flies in the air and starts flashing, like as if like one of those arcade video games, whenever you kill an enemy and then they die and then they flash away. Trying to be as faithful to Super Nintendo Entertainment System video games as much as possible. Babies, this one, I gotten some people say that a lot of people thought this reference here was based on what is it? Based on YouTube versus TikTok, because TikTok does a certain move as well. It's kind of self-explanatory because we're going on very old video game styles and animations, but this outfit, you have the pink hoodie and then the green gloves. There's only one other character that wears a pink hoodie and has green gloves in old video games. This is a reference to Punch-Out, Little Mac from Punch-Out. And I feel like it's also fitting because Paperboy also has a bike. So it kind of works out. So yeah. All right, let's keep going.
The watch all of this columnist, I'll be sunning you daily. Kind of horror to think you went from scores in the ring to the CGI abortion of the Scorpion King.
Okay, so for those who don't know that line, CGI abortion of the Scorpion King, that's a reference to the movie The Scorpion King. But it's also a reference to The Mummy. I think he was in, Dwayne Johnson was in The Mummy 2. I don't know if he was in The Mummy 1, but I do know that he was in The Mummy 2. And he went as a Scorpion King, and the Scorpion King had a bow and arrow. So that's the reference. Initially, I was going to have Paperboy be entirely shirtless, just like the Scorpion King is. But Paperboy is canonically a kid, and I'm not really comfortable of drawing that. My creator wouldn't be really comfortable drawing that. So they didn't. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's keep going.
Horror to think you went from scores in the ring to the CGI abortion of the Scorpion King. How does it feel to be in every second movie?
Okay, so let me move. We're gonna move this down just a little bit, just so you can see. I'm gonna move myself down just a little bit, just so you can see the DVDs. Boom. All right, so you can see at the bottom. You can see that there's 3 DVDs here. These are all references to actual Dwayne movies. The first movie that you see is based off of Empire State, I think the movie is called. The middle one is based off of Doom, and then the last one is Planet 51. These are all movies that Dwayne has starred in some way, shape, or form. And yeah.
Every second of your movies is so fucking boring and stings. After my wreck.
Okay, so I do want to address a criticism that I saw in some comments, that a lot of people have had issues with the fact of the animation shrinking, like not being scaled right and not being rotated accurately. And a part of me was just like, yeah, that's fair. But another part of me is like, everything is very angular. Everything is very angular in Adobe Animate. If I were to rotate or shrink it to the same size, it will not look right, because some pixels would look bigger than other pixels. And I'm trying to show in the animation that everything is extremely flat. Until you see the 3-person segment, the entire animation is supposed to look flat. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, so at that specific point, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but you came to the live stream for this specific reason. So at this specific point, there was supposed to be an inventory pop up at the bottom, where it shows Paperboy selecting from their inventory. And it was going to be like a funny gag, because it's going to show the bike in the inventory, and then just the rest of the place is filled with newspapers. I decided to cut that out because it would obstruct the subtitles, and it would obstruct the UI at the top, and putting it on the sides is going to be too busy and a lot of mess and clutter. So I decided against it. But that's what it was usually, and if you are a Patreon, you guys can see the original storyboards and see some of the assets that were not used for this animation. Let's keep going. I did a joke for this one, and by I, you guys get it. When I say I don't mean actually me, I mean Richie, but you guys get it. The whole point is just that for the entirety of Paperboy's animations, the blood is going to be entirely blue. And the reason why is because it's because of 2 reasons, but I put a lot of thought into that as well. The first reason was because ESRB rating. ESRB rating, Paperboy is an E-rated game. It would be very unrealistic for an E-rated game to have very pixelated graphic blood. So every time you see Paperboy, there is no real red blood, and there's no graphic ways of Paperboy dying. That's not something that you can see in an E-rated game. even though Paperboy curses and swears, so it kind of beats the purpose. I'm still trying to be as faithful as possible, so sue me, I guess. And also, what you will notice is that if you look at the top... Oh, wait, not also. The second reason why I did this is because... The second reason why Richie has done this is because Richie didn't want Dustin Freshie Canal to be demonetized. So that's pretty much it. Just trying to make it as less demonetizable as possible. Not having as much blood. So let's keep going.
Freak, you're so extra, extra. I lied with sob scenes. Pick the best direct.
Okay, I want you guys to keep in mind of what just happened.
Scar freak, you're so extra, extra. I lied with sob scenes. Pick the best directed.
You saw that? Paperboy danced up. He went to the couple. Then he smacked a guy into a building. It's like turning him into a pancake. Really keep that in mind.
Make you wider than broadsheets. Got those nervous ticks, clockwork in your muscles. You can't read the room. Crosswords leave you puzzled. Got nerd girls, got your heart hurting for cuddles.
Pause. All right. So here's some fun trivia. One. Never mind. Nah, I'm kidding. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you guys the fun. I'm gonna show you guys why this specific segment is like one of my favorite points in the entire animation. 1 second. By the way, how's everyone doing today? Everyone doing good? I am doing great. I am running off of 3 hours of sleep, but I am fabulous. I mean, after this, I'm gonna take a fat sleep, but you know, I still feel great. Okay. Let me see something here. Nice, I'm glad everyone's doing great. Alright. Ready? Okay. I'm ready. Boom. Alright, so this is the actual frame of the image. But if you look closely, first of all, let's dissect this real quick. This is an entire crossword puzzle that you can definitely solve. This is a solvable crossword puzzle, and Richie had to render this like 3 to 4 times, making sure that all the boxes are right, everything is okay. But this is an actual crossword puzzle that you can solve right now, that Richie has posted on, I have posted on the Twitter. But you can see that some of them are jokes, and the chicken strips. The YouTuber has yet to show up in the vid, which is also foreshadowing of another voice actor. You have a bunch of do's here and a bunch of do's here. What songs can you think of that are usually a bunch of do's? So really think about those. And then you have some trivia on the RobotRichie channel. You have some random facts, like a popular food high in potassium, blank Travago. The poor sap would pause the video to fully solve this crossword puzzle for no apparent reason. Then we keep going right. Whoops. Then we keep going right here. Richie's favorite food. The name of the YouTuber who plays both Scissorhands and Jack's films. Let's see. And then you have some fun. Name of the dimension hopping college student. But this is where the fun happens. You remember when I told you guys to keep in mind of what you just saw? Let me read this to you, because I'm going to read the beginning segment, because this is really funny. You remember that one scene that just happened right now? Yeah, you think that's just some gag the animator threw in to be funny for April Fool's Day, right? Wrong. In fact, this kid, within the past 5 to 10 minutes, 10 seconds or so, is now on several watch lists for murdering 22-year-old Blitz Bergenspiel for no apparent reason other than, quote-unquote, he didn't buy my newspaper. So yeah, Paperboy, that wasn't a bit. Paperboy definitely killed a person. Alright, and then if you want to, you probably looking at this and you think it's just all gibberish and all confusing. I'm pretty sure that the word right here kind of is self-explanatory. But if you don't want to figure, if that's not self-explanatory, then I don't know what is. Clockwork in your muscles? Yes, clockwork in your muscles. And you guys get that one. But you can see all the headlines or just the lyrics. And yeah. So let's go ahead and go back to the video. Now that you guys saw how everything looks.
Worth getting clipped in the yak, so just cut it. Oh.
Alright. So you see the cat skip is on the bottom again. And he says get ready on the bottom too. Because at this point, you gotta mash A. Mash A as hard as you can, like in the video game. This is the final move. If you don't know that reference and what that move is that Paperboy just did, then you have never played a fighting game in your life.
Got your heart hurting for cuddles, not worth getting clipped in the yak, so just cut it. Oh,
and then that's Edward Scissorhands, which I didn't really have much input filming. Question: what does the blue eyes mean? The blue eyes is a reference to Street Fighter again. Because Street Fighter has a tendency of making evil versions of the characters. And evil versions of the characters that have different colored eyes. And also, just for fun, there was another character in the Robo universe that also has blue eyes. Anyone who subscribed to the channel has seen this channel or the other animated the series has seen another character with glowing blue eyes. I'll give you a minute to think about it. I'll give you a few seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. John Jacob also has blue eyes and yellow pupils. So what does that mean? Wait a second, that's a portal. Hold on, maybe that portal could be important for something. Maybe keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that, probably. That might be important. So let's go back into the video. And we're going to go to here, where the epic climax death battle shows up.
Snippers up on your throat. Nick the vein when I steal the thunder out from under you both.
Pause. Now you can look in the background that all these characters are amalgamations of animations based on Luke, Byron, and Richie. So if you look on the left over here, you can see in the corner there's Peter Griffin, and then you have Cotton and Polly from the Cashmere animation coming out soon. Then you have Cashmere himself. Then you have the 3 Pikachus that Byron has done before in the past. That's Thomas from Colors, also coming soon on the RobotRichie channel. These two are Michael and Nicole that are from Undetected, the comic book, the graphic novel, which is also coming out soon. Then you have characters like Carly, Everly's right here, Marley's right here, and then off screen that you can't see, but you can see when you have the video, is, if you watch a video yourself, is Gregory. These 4 are from the show Animated. And then you have some generic characters that Luke has animated and Byron has animated. But then you have Derek right here from Colors. You have Blocky from another series coming soon on the RobotRichie channel. And then you have Josh from Colors, who's the main protagonist. So yeah, and then you have Luke's OC right over here, and then you have Byron's OC character right over here. Alright, let's keep going.
Out of this virgin, you came from Tim Burton. Now you.
Whoa! What oh my gosh, I'm seeing a portal again. It's the same exact portal as what we saw earlier. Huh. I wonder how he got into the ring now. I wonder who did that. Alright, you ready? Let's keep going.
Tim's Burton.
Okay, so what Richie wanted to do in this specific is they still wanted Paperboy to be as stiff and rigid as he usually is. The only problem is just that Dwayne is a lot more animated, So we have like a Mr. Game & Watch situation with a bunch of 3D models. Even though Mr. Game & Watch is also a 3D model. But you guys get what I mean. So let's keep going.
Kim's burden.
Stepping my lawn and get mowed down. You're the guy who took wrestling and somehow made it more low.
You can see the same characters in the background again. He's out of the portal again. You can see if you look closely. If you look closely right here, there's the blue blood once again because ESRB rating is against that kind of stuff. If you saw that, you can see a quick glimpse. There's the Loch Ness monster right over here. Okay, so for those who don't get memes, those glasses that you saw fall down is from like the old Deal With It memes. If we're going to go, if Richie's going to animate a character from the 80s, we also need to incorporate an ancient meme as well on top of that. So those are the exact same glasses that were in the meme. So you can see the glasses are on the ground, and then like you can see that the belt, you will see the belt that it also falls to the ground too. Like he gets pants a bit. Like the belt falls off.
I'm sorry. Even with Dwayne, you're the most shredded.
And then he flashes away like a video game is. I also want you guys to count how many times Paperboy vanishes or dies in some way. Really count that, because that's also important.
Man, so far, for a bike rider, I assume.
Surprise, Mr. Beast! No one is, barely anyone has noticed that, but Mr. Beast is hiding up here. I put that there. What happened was, someone in the crew server, Richie told me, that someone in the crew server really wanted just one character in live action just to break the dimension a bit. And then Richie was just like, alright, bet, let me get the Mr. Beast footage. So they threw Mr. Beast in the background. And only one person has called it out, and it's really funny.
Even with Dwayne, you're the most shredded man so far. For a bike rider, I assumed you could handle bars.
The Rock lives again, never staying down.
You can see that the newspaper flies and hits Dwayne. But you can see that it's also they'll also have the rope and like it's masked over the rope too, as if like he's actually in the ring. That's the Deltarune realistic explosion that that Richie had to reference. But you saw, this is the second time he's died. This is the second death.
I'll stay ahead in this dispute. Paper. Scissors.
And then boom. You can see that Paperboy is flailing his arms a bit, because that's the typical like death sprite animation that video games usually have.
Stay ahead in this dispute. Paper. Scissors.
And then you see right there, Paperboy dies right there. Unfortunately, it got cut out, but let me show you. It got cut out, but in the original cut, Paperboy was supposed to die once more, and you're supposed to physically see it. 1 second. Paperboy was supposed to die once more, and you're supposed to physically see it. And, basically, Paperboy dies like a Street Fighter character. So basically, Paperboy is like... 1 second. Alright, here we go. This is the original... This is, the cut before all the editing came through. So let me show you this real quick.
Scissors.
You saw Paperboy die like a video game character, like the Street Fighter character. But Freshie cut out, Dustin had to cut that part a bit so you could see the reveal of James Gunn, which is fair. A lot of people were questioning why James Gunn, of all characters, is in this to begin with, and why, rock, paper, scissors, where does Gunn come from? Were you ever a kid? That's it. Were you ever a kid? No, all seriousness. Were you ever a kid and you guys played rock, paper, scissors, but then some kid whips out the gun and be like, oh, Gunn beats all three of them. And then you bring out another item, like the knife cuts the gun in half or some crap. And then they keep adding on dumb rules like that at the playground. That's where the gun comes from. So it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And then that gun... I remember that we would whip out the gun every time during the. Please don't take that out of context. We would use the gun with our hand motion. That still doesn't help. You know what I mean? I don't know how to phrase it without sounding very bad, so I'm not going to say it. But you guys get what I mean. Okay. Ooh, geez, that's not good. Let's go ahead and delete that. Alright, cool, let's keep going. Alright. So that's fun. Oh, and also, the scissors, I do want to talk about the scissors part specifically. The scissors part specifically was really fun. Because, like, Byron wanted to just have the scissors, Edward Scissorhands turned into a pile of scissors in Byron's verse. Richie made the executive director decision and told Byron, no, make that a bit in the final group, like in the third person segment. So every time Edward Scissorhands gets beaten very badly, he turns into a pile of scissors. And the fact that Dwayne comes out of nowhere and does it, we could not stop laughing. Alright, let's keep going.
Assumed you could handle bars.
The Rock lives again, never staying dead.
I'll fight to the bitter end just to chase the bread.
Decision was mine, I'll stay ahead in this dispute.
Rock,
Paper.
Scissors.
Hey, there's me! And there's some lore in this too. So keep an eye out for that. Let's slow this down and show you what's going on exactly in this specific situation. I'm going to mute it so you guys don't hear the slow motion. But you see the scissors fly up, and then you see that I'm there, and then John Jacob is there. I pull out a pencil. And it morphs into a shield. That is canon to the Robo universe. I have a pencil that can pretty much shapeshift. And it's also a pencil, so like, it does paper stuff. And John Jacob, you can see John Jacob slowly, that his hand is going to glow pink, and then the portals are going to come out. So you see the hand glue pink, and then you can see the portals are coming out over from here, and then going from here. Scissors are going in from this end, and then they're going to come out of that end. And then the smoke gun that Richie told Dustin to add. And then James Gunn shows up and scream. You stole the pencil from SpongeBob. No, I didn't do that. I didn't steal the pencil from SpongeBob. Look at that. The pencil is red and blue. SpongeBob's pencil is beige. Totally different pencils. And SpongeBob's pencil can't shapeshift. SpongeBob's pencil can draw whatever he wants. I don't think mine can. Pretty simple, right? And then we all animated our own segments. Richie animated Trip's avatar, but Trip drew everything. So basically, Richie just told Trip to add a blinking animation and 2 different poses, and then they will do the rest. And then you can see Trip is shielding themselves from the scissors. That's a good shot. That's a really nice shot. And then that's it. And then the rest of the video is pretty much the James Gunn verse, which Dustin had the entire part in, and I did not. So you can see here, Let's go at the end. Look at that pixel enemy. I'm glad they didn't blur it, I'm glad whoever did the background didn't blur it, because that would have been really upsetting if they did. All right, let's see. So we got Paperboy, Edward Scissorhands, then James Gunn. Written. I didn't write it. Hey, I get top billing as the director. Let's go. That's a typo. It should be Paperboy filmed by RobotRichie. But, you know, it's fine. I don't think anyone in the crew gets it. But it's okay. You guys get it. Alright, let's keep going. Get that. The wrestling arena. Yep, we designed the wrestling arena ourselves. Rocco had the model, and then I just went to it, pretty much. Yep, edited RobotRichie, me. After we filmed the whole thing, I edited the Paperboy verse, obviously. And I also edited the Chaos segment. The entire Chaos segment was edited by me. That was an undertaking. Because I had to put all the cameo appearances in place. And yeah, that's all that. Richie versus SpongeBob battle. Oh, I would definitely die in that. I don't want to die. I would definitely die. I thought about like what would happen if my characters were in different death battle situations. Because like keep in mind, when Richie creates us, Richie doesn't create us with the sole thought of, oh, let's put them comparable to this character and then have them see if they could fight each other in a death battle. That's not really how Richie creates us. Basically, Richie creates the story of the characters, and then around that story, Richie creates the personality traits of how each character would act. And with me, Richie created me to be the scientist. Basically, my job in the Robo Universe and the RobotRichie channel is that the RobotRichie channel is basically a ruse. It pays the bills for the most part to keep the RoboRebellion Studios afloat. But I, for those who don't know, in 2018, had to deal with a very unfortunate situation where I was possessed by these shadow glitch entities. These glitch entities created by Marcus Bradley. And ever since then, that has steered me into wanting to be an avid public speaker on glitch awareness and to just overall study these glitches. I'm what they call a connector in the universe. But if you want to know more about it, if you want to know more about the Robo lore, because that's not what this video is about, I would pause at the newspaper. Or I would watch the most recent video that was uploaded onto the RobotRichie channel. Because, yeah, John Jacob is... Because I want you guys to keep this in mind. In that video, John Jacob, for April Fool's Day, sits around doing absolutely nothing for 7.5 minutes. Just goes into different positions and just sits there. But the video is 9 minutes long. So how can the video be 9 minutes long, but he's only sitting there for 7.5 minutes? I feel like that's intentional, but I'm not entirely sure. I would keep an eye on that video if I were you guys. So then we go into here. Got the wrestling arena. I edited it. Oh, Matthew did the outro. Neat. This one. Frodo Baggins versus Ancient Egyptians. That was a fun video to film. I don't know how in the world John Jacob was able to get a literal god of the dead to come and film for us. But then again, John Jacob is linked to a god himself, so it kind of, I guess it works out. I don't know. I don't get it. I guess it works out. I guess. Just weird. Alright, anyways. So basically that was a fun. I remember, I didn't direct that one. John Jacob was the one who directed the Frodo Egyptians versus Frodo Baggins versus Ancient Egyptians. And I remember before John Jacob and Guy Wilkes finished the filming and everything, even though I slapped my name on it because, you know, my channel, I get all the royalties and credits for what John Jacob and Guy Wilkes do, because I am just an asshole sometimes. But like all seriousness, I made sure while John and Guy were looking away, I etched something into the hieroglyphics. And I still think to this day no one has been able to decipher that. And I don't think anyone will. So yeah. And that's the end of The Rock versus Paperboy versus Edward Scissorhands. Now that it's just us. Hold on. Let me turn off the screen and let me look at you guys very carefully and very closely. Because this is important. Before you guys go, I need help. And I want you guys to listen very carefully because this is very, very important. There we go. Alright. So, you didn't hear this from me, alright? But, please go watch that April Fool's video on the RobotRichie channel. You didn't hear from me. There's just something wrong going on with that video. I'm like, there's just something up, okay? There's just something up. And please help me. Like, I think John and Marcus have been leaving codes and ciphers and all this kind of stuff throughout everything that we've done. And I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing. And, you know, I know John Jacob is just an intern for me, but I'm kind of scared on firing him. I don't even know if he's a bad guy. Like, I mean, I've known John Jacob since 2018. He's definitely not a bad guy. But I don't know. The blue eyes and the blue and yellow eyes, the fact that I was possessed by one of those things, the fact that he has one of those things following him everywhere he goes, and then the whole Marcus Bradley shit that I don't really think I need to dive deeper in. I need your guys' help to dissect what these two are leaving on these videos. Not even just with us, not even just on the RobotRichie channel, but just everything that we have done in terms of production. Because I'm kind of scared that something is going to happen. So, there's this channel, there's my creator's channel, and then there's the series channel. Which, spoiler alert, might be deleted soon because we're probably going to reanimate segments for that. But that's besides the point. I would really appreciate you guys to really help me out on this. Because I'm kind of scared. I'm not going to lie. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. This was a fun breakdown. I haven't been live or done anything like this since November. Since November. Gosh, it's been already almost 5 months since I've been live over here. If you guys want to see me or my creator live again, please tell us what we can do. Maybe Richie could show their face and stream on their channel. And then on my channel here, maybe we could stream ourselves. I could show you guys, we could talk about, like, stuff. I could have a live conversation with me and John. We could have the whole crew here. We could do a podcast. That sounds fun. Tell us what ideas we could do. Give me about a good half an hour to an hour. I'm gonna send all the information, all the raw assets to John Jacob to put it on the Patreon. For anyone who's on the Patreon, they can, you know, download the Adobe Animate and the ASPrite files themselves. And in a few days, there's gonna be a video up there that you guys could see a week early. That will be uploaded to Richie's channel. Alright? And, yeah. if you guys have any questions, just of what the RoboRebellion Studios does and stuff, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Maybe we could do a Q&A live stream. That sounds fun. Ask the crew. Ask the RoboRebellion Studios crew on what we do. Do you have a clue? That was bad. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a nice one. And I bid you all adieu. Bye-bye.